So I've had a few questions and comments about how my jaw and my face in general became more angular in my late 20s, and so I thought I'd talk about it today. Hi, for those of you who are new here, welcome. My name is Matty and I'm a male model and physiotherapist. And without further ado, let's get on to talking about how my face became more angular later on in my 20s, which possibly was the reason why I ended up getting a modelling contract. And I'm trying to break into the fashion industry now, which is pretty cool. Your bone structure is primarily determined by genetics. So for those of you who have met my dad, have seen a picture of my dad, you know that he has a very wide jaw. He has a very wide bigonial width, which is from one gonian to the other. And he also has quite high set and prominent cheekbones, which means that his face is almost like a square, similar to mine. So I think a lot of this is genetic, and you can't really let anyone tell you otherwise. If you genetically have a narrower jaw, it's going to be harder for you to get a wider jaw, evidently. So I felt like I've always had this bone structure underneath. I've always had quite like a wide skull, a wide jaw, but I was kind of chubby growing up, so this was all hidden. You couldn't see like my jawline visibility, and I didn't really have like kind of the hollow cheek look that I get when I'm quite lean and in certain lighting. So I didn't know about this. So as I've kind of got older, 25, 26, now I'm 27, as I've kind of aged, my facial fat has decreased. I feel like it's just part of the natural aging process, the maturation process. I never had that pretty boy face. I also feel like my face is far less bloated than it used to be because I've cut down sugars, I cut out dairy. I'm not eating foods that are as high in salt, sodium, and I'm generally eating healthier. And my skin has cleared up significantly, as you can kind of see. I'm someone who suffered with acne quite badly. From 16 to about 25, 26, I had really bad acne. And so in the last year, my skin has cleared up significantly. And as a result of that, you can see my skin being a lot smoother. The definition of my bone structure can come through my skin a little bit better because my skin's more taut, it's more tight. So I think that's definitely a factor as well. And the skin was linked with the diet, at least on an anecdotal and observational level. I found that changing up my diet, cutting out the dairy, really helped clear up my skin. We've talked about how genetics plays a crucial role, and we've also talked about how there are a few things that I changed that may have contributed to my overall facial features kind of becoming more sharp, popping a little bit more. And the first time I really noticed it was when I went to my cousin's wedding, and my other cousin was just like, "Hey, your jawline's popping." And up until that point, I'd never noticed that. That was the first time I actually was told that I had a good jawline through a relative who I don't really speak to very much, but we get along when we see each other. And a few weeks after that, I was at a party and my friend said that I had really nice high set cheekbones, which is a really random comment. There are things that you can do to help widen your jaw and make it more angular. The first thing is you need to lower your body fat levels, because if you don't have low body fat levels, if your face is really bloated, if you're quite chubby, then it doesn't matter how good your bone structure is, it'll be covered up. You're never going to see the angularity of your jaw. You're never going to see that bone structure shine through. Lower your body fat percentage. Now, if you guys are interested in how to lose weight, how to diet down, how to lose body fat, then I made plenty of videos on my channel that cover this topic, so feel free to go and check them out, and I'll leave a link in the description below. You also want to do some sort of resistance training or strength training, because that is going to increase your testosterone levels, and this is particularly important during your mid to late teens, early 20s. That's when you want to be hitting the gym and lifting weights to help increase testosterone, because we all know that increased testosterone does help your jaw to grow, it does help your facial features become more masculine, so that's extremely important as well. The third point is, of course, proper tongue posture and breathing through your nose. So when I was growing up, I used to have a blocked nose quite a lot of the time. Like, one nose would always be blocked, but instead of accepting this and breathing through a mouth, I would just sniff. I would just try and keep breathing through my nose. Like, I'm a really stubborn person, so I'll be like, nope, I'm breathing through my nose. But anyway, I ended up getting a nickname, Sniffer Chung, because I would try so hard to breathe through my nose all the time, even when it was blocked, basically. So of course you've probably heard about mewing, and that's proper tongue posture. The tongue should be on the roof of your mouth, it should be flat on the roof of your mouth. Basically what you want to do is drink water, and as you're swallowing it, that part where you swallow and your tongue is touching the roof of your mouth, that is basically where you want your tongue most of the time. So let me just demonstrate. Do you see the difference between relaxed like this and this? There's a big difference. From what I understand, that is what mewing is. Now, I grew up chewing a lot of hard foods, so baguettes, steak, sirloin steak particularly, you want to eat foods that are going to force you to chew, because that's going to make the masseter muscles, the muscles of chewing or masticulation, grow. And as we know, as muscle grows, it pulls on the bone, which causes the bone to grow as well, to hypertrophy, which is what you want if you want a wider jaw. I never really did any chewing exercises. I didn't really chew gum that much. I grew up eating a lot of chewy, tough food, and that's possibly what's also contributed to growing like a wider jaw aside from genetics. And the fifth thing that you can do is also consider the haircuts that you get. So of course, if you have really long hair and they cover your face, people aren't really going to notice your jawline, your bone structure as much because your face is covered. If you get a buzz cut, then it's going to bring attention further down to your face and to your lower third, particularly your jaw. And this can make your jawline pop a little bit more if you have a specific haircut, if you cut your hair a little bit shorter. Now, if you're like me and you had a chubby, bloated face kind of growing up, what might happen is as you get a little bit older, as you mature, that face becomes more angular, more chiseled as you lean out as you get older. Now, I hope that you found this video helpful, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.
I'm on my own, broken alone. I feel the rain crashing down all around this empty town. I'm searching for the lost and found.